Tonight, we're learning more about warning signs that the teenage suspect in this week's school shooting displayed before the incident, signs that prompted school officials to advise his parents to get him some counseling. Christy Buck, the executive director of the Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan, is here now. Christy, been a tough week for all of us. And now hearing about these warning signs, things that were posted on social media, in a journal, they were all ignored. That's really difficult then to comprehend.
They certainly were. And as with any school shooting, typically there were warning signs where we could have noticed in someone that possibly they could have been in harm to themselves or in harms to others. Very similar to suicide. And so these are those warning signs that when they are seen, we need to immediately have access to some type of resources.
Right. Okay, so talk about some of those signs, noticing what they're saying, what they're posting, things like that.
How they're thinking, acting, and feeling. So oftentimes you might see an increase in rage, an increase of postings that might include some type of method that would be the method used to harm someone. In addition, talking about not wanting to live, talking about people at the school, blatantly coming out and saying that they're going to cause harm to someone or something. All of these were there, and as we see this story unfold, we'll find out even more that possibly at what age was the onset where this person started to show signs where they were struggling with a mental health disorder, because nothing ever should get to the point where someone wants to harm someone or harm themselves.
Talk about some of the physical signs that we might be seeing that parents can look out for.
Sure. Change in their appearance, change in the way they're talking, change in their friendships, spending more time alone, seeking access to a means that may be a method that could harm someone. Oftentimes it could be an attitude. It could be beginning to use drugs and alcohol, paying attention to what type of social media accounts they're on, who they are hanging around with, who are their friend groups. Are they spending more time alone? Are they isolating themselves from what they typically would be doing? That could be isolation from family and friends.
You actually have an event coming up this week. You are going to be having somebody come in next week, we should say, hearing from a suicide attempt survivor.
Yeah, and here we are with our event that's coming up next Thursday, and this is in conjunction with other county mental health organizations who are also sponsoring this with us. Her name is Emma Benoit, and she grew up down in Louisiana, and at 16 years old, she attempted to take her life. Unfortunately, she survived that attempt to now take her story and put it into a documentary. So we opted to bring Emma and the documentary to a facility, and it is the old South Christian High School, which now houses Special Olympics of Michigan and the future headquarters of the Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan. So Emma will be bringing her honesty and her knowledge of what her journey was, where she first began to struggle with a mental health disorder that went untreated and ultimately led to her attempting to take her life.
Important conversations that we need to keep having. As always, Christy Buck, thank you for all you do.
As always, thank you, Michelle.